How you doing? This is Jimmy. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Alright, so let's get on with this program. We're gonna get on with the video.
Okay, well here I am.
Check out the riff.
Still in the middle of the home studio transformation. Let's back it up here.
Yeah.
All right.
The video.
I got the air conditioning running, so may get a little ambient noise there. So this is where we're at. I pulled everything out of the studio. There was all this actually fit in here. So let's go in here now. This is pretty much empty except for my DAW area, my DAW, my workstation. Okay, so let's go on out and take a look at everything. All right, my $50 Casio keyboard I bought from a pawn shop and when I first started playing guitar in 2010. Let's turn to that, by the way. That's actually the first guitar I ever bought. $150 Fender Starcaster at Target store, nonetheless. If you know anything about Target, sure you do. And when I was there, oh golly, man, Jesus, I think it was about the beginning of 2010. I said, you know what? I'm thinking about taking up the guitar, and I want to take up the keyboard also. If I ever do take up the guitar, I'm coming back here, and I'm getting that guitar right there. Months later, on the 6th of April, 2010, I decided today is the day I'm going to take up the guitar. So let me get back out to Target and see if the guitar is still there. So I went out to Target. Sure enough, it was still there. Like I said, it was originally $150, and it was marked down to $108 clearance. Okay, I grabbed it. Now it's a right-handed guitar, but I'm a lefty, and I just took and flipped the lefty. The pickguard was up top, therefore, and I just rearranged the strings from top to bottom. And it came with that gig bag right there. It came with a strap, which I'm going to show you. A tuner that I still have. You plug into it and it tunes. Came with the DVD, Fender, How to Play the Guitar. I got that. Came with strings and picks. So I actually don't have that guitar anymore. That was my very first one. The reason I don't have it is because I gave it to a friend of mine that I've known for, Jesus, by that time, 35 years. And he knew a fellow that was getting out of prison and wanted to take up the guitar, and I thought, you know what better way than to plant someone in someone's life to help them out. And sure, of course, I missed my first guitar, but I always thought it went to a good cause. By that time, I had bought one like that right there. Actually, that's a replacement one of the one I bought. And I bought that one right there, too, which is a Oscar Schmidt. Bought that from the pawn store as well. And never bought anything from the pawn store until I started playing the guitar. Then I've gone back and gotten musical instruments at this particular pawn shop that I do business with now. So I went and I also got that Oscar Schmidt directly after I started playing guitar. But that one I gave away, but I kept the box. And I had the Oscar Schmidt sitting in there. This Ibanez AL10LE, LE standing for lefty, is the very first brand new guitar that was an acoustic electric that I bought. This one here, the Fender Starcaster, was just a hollow box, but this is the very first acoustic electric I bought, but actually that's the replacement one of it. The first one I bought was a Lemon, and I went back. About 6 months I had that thing, and I told him, I said, look, I know your policy is only like 30 days, but I've been playing this thing, been coming back, looking to see if you got any more models on the floor. I'm a lefty. You haven't put any more lefty guitars out there. Now I just come back again. You've got a lefty guitar. There it is. It's sitting out there. You finally got it. Been waiting for that. That's why I didn't mention before this. Bring that Lemon out there and give it back to him. And I wanted the one that they had just finally put back out on the floor again. And they said, okay, come on out and get it. And that's my credit to Guitar Center. My props to Guitar Center for that. So I went out there. They accepted that one that I had in exchange for this one right here. And then I put that diamond steel plated pickguard on there myself, which is actually made out of, believe it or not, a thick plastic. But it's definitely embossed and everything else like it. And all these other guitars, man. Yet here's all my gear. I will say that that's the Boss RC300. I've got my amps, my Epi case for my Epi Les Paul there, a Fender Strat Acoustic, another Fender Strat Acoustic over here, and I've got an Ibanez electric. Now the Strats, the two Strat Acoustics are right-handed, okay, and of course I don't play them, but I liked them and I got them. Got both of those Strats from the pawn shop as well for about $150 each, something like that, and that's a good price. So the hard case for the Les Paul Epi, my amps, that's a 100-watt amp right there that I bought from the pawn shop too. Cost me like $100, and it's got two 50-watt speakers in there. The Vox I bought from the pawn shop. The Fender Mustang I bought brand new. Let's keep on going. That's my box to the Valencia Spanish classical acoustic electric I got over there. Believe that or not, I'm going to bring that back and show you. He's sitting right in the middle of those. Let me go back here and show you this. That one right in the middle. Look how beautiful that is, man. Shines. I got from Rondo Music for $89. Okay. That Oscar Schmidt cost me about $125 from the pawn shop. That Celebrity Deluxe Ovation I bought brand new. It cost me nearly $700 for that. Alrighty. The Ibanez acoustic electric I showed you back behind me, when I told you that was my first acoustic electric, cost me $300 and something. There's my gig bags for everything. This is my second recorder. I bought this from the pawn shop as well. I first started recording with the cassette. Yes, a cassette deck. You know, just regular cassette player. And then I seen that, and that's actually, it says home recording system. I'm sorry because the light's on. Okay, home recording system. And it has direct inputs, and you can plug an SD card into it or a USB and play away. There's a microphone on top. Right there in that bag. Okay, so let's continue, carry on. Let's see what else. Okay, that's the stand I just took out, the bar that I was using for countertop for my workstation prior to me getting the desk. My Roland acoustic amplifier, the AC33, with the looper function on it and battery pack. You can play out in public for 30 minutes. While your batteries last. Okay, I want to go back to this guitar, that Fender right there. Let me take this off. Got my capo on there. Okay, that Fender I bought right outside of Nashville in 2014. Cost me, yes, Nashville, Tennessee, and it cost me about $350. Okay, might as well go into it. The Les Paul Epi cost me about $500. I'm just trying to think anything else here. I got my boxes there. So you see, okay, now let's go back over here because I have another guitar in the works, and here it is. It's in my workshop. Alrighty then, that is a 1977 Ovation Balladeer. Okie dokie, and I've been working on it. So anyway, I'm going to be playing that again pretty soon, I hope. Alright, hope I didn't bore you too much there, and thanks for viewing. Anything else I need to say? Yes, I do. These and here are all my cassettes that I first started playing and recording with. A lot of these CDs in there are ones that I just played off the Memorex machine and burnt out from the USB onto my computer into a CDs. And then here are actually CDs that I recorded, mixed and mastered on my Tascam DP24. Got my mic, actually that's just a showpiece, it's not really functional. And oh yes, let's mention David Willis from Pro Audio DVD, Pro Audio DVDs, and you can download this cheat sheet here for frequencies for when you're recording for your instruments and vocals and whatnot. Okay, so there you go. Okay, let's take a look at a couple more things here. That was actually an idea I had for an album cover I drew up. I created that out of the diamond steel plated the panels I got, and if you go like this, it says Top Cat, and then you go like that, that's supposed to be a cat. Okay, with the hat on, he's got a pork pie hat on, supposed to have. I know the light on there is shining, so, and then his whiskers. So, okay, Top Cat Jimmy here. Don't forget, got the bamboo hat because I was in Asia. I was in the United States Army and I was stationed in Asia. And that is my Top Cat Jimmy hat right there. Yes, sir, I could put that on. Okay, and I might as well say veteran. Okay, yes, Korea. I was in Korea 1976 to 1977. We've had troops over there since 1950, of course. And throughout the total time past until now, we still do have troops there. Keep them in mind and in your prayers. A lot of them gone to Iraq and Afghanistan and fought and done many tours of duty between those three places. They have. Okay, now I got my Kangol hat on because you got to have a Kangol hat, man. You know? And Samuel L. Jackson liked that one. Now, what else can we say? Okay, well, here's my little bragamony. All right, and people, I'll be remodeling this here still, and there's my acoustic panels. I have to put all those up. Oh yes, that's my diagram of where they're going to go. I can understand it anyway. David Willis, ProAudiosDVD.com. We make tutorials on every type of recording equipment and software there is out there. Chick publication tracks about Jesus. I like that little sign there. That's what the area looked like when I first started recording here in this very area. And now I just want to say, all right, this is Top Cat Jimmy. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching this video. Signing off and saying sayonara. See you later. Have a good day. Got Jesus? He does a person good. All right. Bamboo wood chimes and the dream catcher and the American flag. All right. Adios. God bless. Okie doke again. This is part 2. The mess was out here. Had everything outside the studio. And now I've rearranged everything back inside the studio. The stools I didn't need, but now I'm going to put them together and they'll be sitting right over there by the bar. Alright, got the party lot in my studio. This is the vocal booth area. And a little bit of storage. That's for a giveaway. Those things on the floor there. Another reflection filter. I made the 2 reflection filters. So that reflection filter, 2 REISO pads for the monitors, and then 2 smaller pads for smaller monitors. And I made those blue ones out of the acoustic foam panels there, which I still have to put up in the studio. Okay, let's step into the studio here. Got my party light going on. Okie-doke then, and my amps, my guitars, my bamboo wind chimes, and my dream catcher.
And the American flag, alright.
Keyboard, Boss RC300, some foot pedals. So I was saying, my guitars, my party light, watch out for that. Okay, there it is. Okay, but it lights up the whole room. Oh yes, I gotta put up the remaining ceiling tiles too, which I'll do, along with the acoustic foam that I'm gonna be putting up. That is the box to my very first guitar I ever bought, which was in 2010. Some other recording gear. Another amp over there. What are we saying now? Sorry about the light. Every good soldier's got to have a foot locker. Okay, and then all those things on the floor over there. I'm going to buy another stand, and I'm going to put those things on that stand. Alrighty then. And now, oh, I like that. That was given to me, the stand right here. That's a gift, of course. I like it because it holds your drinks or whatever. And now my new workstation desk, of course, with the Tascam DP24 that I originally started using there on that wall. And now I integrated it with my DAW, and everything's now integrated together. Okay. Vocal booth. Yeah, I made that reflection filter, as I was saying. And there's my pop filter for the mic, of course, and then microphone's an MXL V67G. Good mic. And that's my Reverb Nation page right there. And my song, Cool Funky Latin, playing. Push in the chair. Let's just play that out a little bit. Just about over. Alright, with that, this is Top Cat Jimmy. Thanks for watching the vids. Signing off now. God bless you.